Broadcasting from the studios of AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota. Welcome back to The Gailey Show. I'm your host, John Parker. In studio with me, executive producer Jim Pounds. Hello to those who are watching. Sorry, I just totally cut out over you.
No, I didn't need to say that.
Hello to those watching on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@TheGaileyShow. Okay, continuing on with Culture and Entertainment Fridays, we have a movie review of a rom-com, Golden Delicious, and there is a new film coming out in April, Wedding Banquet. We have the trailer for it, but first, we are going to talk about a new TV show coming to Hulu this month. My voice cracked there. What am I, 13 years old? The TV show, rather, is Mid-Century Modern. So it debuts on Hulu March 28th. It looks like, according to Hulu's press page, they will be releasing all 10 episodes on March 28th, which I like.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of dripped content where you get an episode like every week. Like, what? It's not the 1990s anymore. I want to watch stuff on if it's going to be on streaming, I want to watch it on my own terms, time-wise. So I'm happy that Hulu is going to do this. I affirm that. I like it. Keep doing it. Mid-Century Modern. So the synopsis of this, I'm told, and we've been reading in the press reports, that it is a sort of gay version of a Golden Girls. I have thoughts about that. But here's the synopsis officially. The show follows three best friends, gay gentlemen of a certain age, so says the synopsis, who after an unexpected death decide to spend their golden years living together in Palm Springs, where the wealthiest one, who is played by Nathan Lane, lives with his mother. As a chosen family, they prove that no matter how hard things get, there's always someone around to remind you it would be better if you got your neck done.
If you got your what?
Got your neck done. I think it's for, it's a plastic surgery joke. The cast: Nathan Lane stars as Bunny Schneiderman, Matt Bomer as Jerry Frank, Nathan Lee Graham, as Arthur Broussard, and the late and great Linda Lavin as Sybil Schneiderman, Nathan Lane's mother in the show. Linda Lavin tragically passed away late last year, so they were able to wrap production without her and release the episode. So this will be the final thing we'll ever get to see Linda Lavin in, and fingers crossed that it is a good production, because she deserves that. She was a gem and a treasure for us here, and it's really sad. I know that will shade what I'm feeling, not shade in a bad way, but that will impact how I'm feeling about watching the show, because it will be sad to watch Linda's final series. The series is executive produced by Max Muchnick and David Cohen, who are of Will and Grace fame, and of course executive produced by Ryan Murphy, the godfather of all LGBTQ media.
The most prolific gay man in television.
Seriously. There's him and the
Greg Berlanti.
Thank you, Greg Berlanti, who are doing great work, and we support them, and thank you for doing that. So I'm hoping this is more Golden Girls than Golden Palace. And for folks who don't know, Golden Palace was a sequel to Golden Girls, but without B. Arthur. And so Betty White, Rue McClanahan, Estelle Getty bought a hotel, the Golden Palace, and they ran it, and it was supposed to be, it wasn't very good. It lasted one season. It just wasn't the same. And to watch them, a comedy of errors of running a hotel, but it just didn't have that magic to it. So I'm hoping that this series, Mid-Century Modern, which I love the title, I think it's a great title, also is more Golden Girls than it is Golden Palace. But
we should probably I feel like there's a context missing here. Those of you that don't know John don't know that the ringtone on John's phone is the Golden Girls theme. That one of about 4 television programs in existence that he will put on over and over and over again, like a little child watching a Disney movie. One of those is Golden Girls. And so this is his comfort blanket, one of his comfort blankets. And
So don't screw it up, Matt Bomer and
yeah, I was
Nathan
going to say
Lane.
the pressure is high, because I think it would be better. Here's what I don't buy about the premise. I wish it was easy for a 30 something and a 40 something and a 60 something to be friends, but that doesn't happen enough in our community. Generations are very separated, and at least in my experience and from what I hear from other people. So it's not credible to me that these guys are all friends easily and they just sort of, this is a continuation of that. But I hope it shows that and shows the dynamism of that, because I totally believe in, obviously, intergenerational friends and intergenerational relationships. So I hope it becomes an advocacy for that kind of deeper connection between the generations. I think it would strengthen our community a million times. So I hope that's what it comes off as, not just how do we shove this into a Golden Girls pump.
And they keep calling it the Golden Girls. They were all retired. They were all widows, or I guess B. Arthur's character was divorced from Stan, who was an amazing recurring character on the show. And first of all, I just want to address also the Golden Girls in the 80s was a positive depiction of LGBTQ characters. And in a world where we had a pandemic going on that the government was ignoring, and when we had a government that was like trying to erase us and not acknowledge us as we are today.
Yeah.
The lanai at their, spending time on the lanai of the Golden Girls every week was very, very special. And I will watch that show over and over again. And when there's a marathon, I will watch it. Thankfully, all the episodes are on Hulu, so I can stream them anytime that I want to. But yes, that series has a very special place in my heart, and will always have that special place in my heart.
So
but I also kind of, to your point about believability, I'm not quite sure about the believability of Matt Bomer and Nathan Lee Graham as retirees. So I'll be curious how they set that up. Because apparently Matt Bomer is going to be the Betty White character. Yeah. Again, I don't know if I want to do these, I hope it is not an apples to apples comparison. I hope that it is a show in and of its own right.
That's right.
I'm actually looking forward to watching it in that regard and not comparing it to the Golden Girls. And hopefully that whole construct will just sort of go away as we get into it.
This is where marketing people do themselves a disservice, because whoever's decision this was to link it to a known piece of intellectual property so that everybody goes, oh, I've heard of the Golden Girls, I might watch that, as opposed to, this is a really great show about 3 generations of gay men living together, which is enough of a reason to do a show itself, in my opinion, that doesn't need the Golden Girls mantle put on top of it, which then, as you said, is constantly going to make it compare to that, and it shouldn't be.
I agree. All right, up next, we have film Wedding Banquet. We actually have the trailer for this. So the Wedding Banquet is according to the synopsis, a joyful comedy of errors about a chosen family navigating the disasters and delights of family expectations, queerness, and cultural identity. Directed by Andrew Ahn, starring my nemesis Boeing Yang, Academy Award nominee Lily Gladstone, and with the exception of Lily, who is of Piegan, Blackfeet, and Nez Perce heritage on her father's side and European heritage on her mom's side, the cast is all Asian. So this is very exciting to see this. We thought that maybe that we'd only get that with one film, and now here we go again, that we have another film. Actually, our Golden Delicious also is gonna. We've got a lot of Asian representation today on the show. But this remake is a remake of the Ang Lee film from the early 1990s. It's updated to the 21st century, so a little bit more about the plot. Angela and her partner Lee have been unlucky with IVF treatments. They can't afford to pay for another round. Their friend Min is a closeted scion of a multinational corporate empire, has plenty of cash on hand, but a soon-to-expire visa. So when his commitment-phobic boyfriend Chris rejects his wedding proposal, Min decides to make the offer to Angela instead, a green card marriage for Min funding their IVF treatment. But their plans to elope quietly are upended when Min's grandmother flies in from Korea unannounced, insisting on an all-out wedding extravaganza. So we have the trailer here. Let's pull it up and we will listen to it / watch it if you are on our YouTube feed.
Angela! Lee! Hold on. I'm putting you on speaker. It's Min.
Hello?
Good morning, Angela.
What's going on?
Hey, Chris.
You look like a ghost. A hot, gay ghost. My grandmother doesn't know I'm gay. Will you marry me?
Me?
What?
My daughter. Marrying a man.
It's for the cause. We're helping a gay couple stay together.
I'm on my way to the airport.
Because Min's grandmother flew in from Korea to meet her future granddaughter-in-law.
What are we supposed to do exactly?
We gotta de-queer the house. God, you have so much lesbian literature. Honey, I'm home.
Have you picked the wedding date?
We don't want a ceremony.
No ceremony?
This is absurd.
Cheers.
Let's try looking more in love.
Everything in this house is gay!
Everything else is gay. Well, there it is. I am actually looking forward to seeing the film. We will obviously have our review of it after it comes out. I jokingly say, Bowen Yang is my nemesis because we were both up. Our podcasts were up for the same award last year at the GLAAD Media Awards, and he won, and I obviously did not, and we did not, and so whatever, it was cool to be nominated.
I'm getting a little. I think Bowen is great, but I keep thinking about who's the number 2 and number 3 young gay Asian actor that we're not seeing because any of the casting people can think of is the name Bowen Yang. I'd like to see some other people in that category brought forward too.
Well,
I feel like
I'm actually most excited to see him being in a role where he isn't the comic sidekick like he was in Wicked.
Yes.
And he's
kind of
been
a
that
straight
role
man.
and a couple of other like Bros. He was playing that role where
He's
it was
done
sort
it a
of
lot.
come in, do a
Right.
funny gay character and then leave. And so this will be nice to see him back in a leading role like he was in Fire Island. I thought he did an absolutely fantastic job in Fire Island. So hopefully again we will see that that side to his performing, which is actually very good.
Mhm.
And so I'm glad that he's having the opportunity to sort of stretch his comedic performances
But you
into
know what I'm
something that's
saying?
more with an arc to it.
Can
and
you
not
mention
just-
another Asian American male actor, gay?
Yeah,
I can't. Well, the
the-
comic, yes. Yes, I know.
Oh,
who
come on, you're putting me on the spot here.
Well,
and yes, I
but
can, I
he's a
can see
comic.
faces, and I'm terrible with names.
He's a comic. He's not a sort of bona
but
fide actor.
beyond that, okay, yeah, there are, and I'm feeling very racist right now because I can't pull up their names off the top of my head. But there are, and we will look that up, and we will mention them when we do our official review of the film Wedding Banquet. But hopefully you enjoyed the trailer. It is coming out on something else that we should just have ready to go for you. It's coming out in April, and we will April 18th. There we go. Coming out April 18th. So be on the lookout for that in theaters across the nation. Hopefully, I'm assuming it's probably going to open in New York and LA first, but I'm pretty sure that us here in Minneapolis, St. Paul will also get it. I think that it's having a more than just a limited release, but we're going to continue on with Asian representation in LGBTQ film. We have a review after the break about the film Golden Delicious. It came out in 2022. We're going to tell you why you need to be checking it out this weekend. For now, keep it tuned to The Gaily Show. Follow us on Blue Sky for ticket giveaways and more progressive news and analysis. We're at thegailyshow.org on Blue Sky. Welcome back to the Daily Show. That is exactly the type of music I want to hear going into the weekend. Thank you for that, Brett Johnson, who is in the control room today, making sure this rocket ship stays flying where it's supposed to be going. All right, so film review, Golden Delicious. It came out in 2022. We watched it on Fuse TV, their streaming service, which we did a free trial of, and we're checking that out. But it looks like it's also available on Prime and Roku's premium subscription, so you can find it there as well. What the film is about. So when, from the official description, when basketball-obsessed Alex moves across the street, Asian Canadian teen Jake finds himself trying out for the basketball team to get his attention in a classic coming-of-age drama. And again, starring two gay Asian, well, I don't know their sexualities, but two Asian actors
Characters, yeah.
in queer roles.
Yep.
Very rare to see this. So we're very happy to be sharing this film because it's really good. As we always do with film reviews, here's some important information to start with. There is no animal violence. There is no HIV storyline. There is anti-LGBTQ bullying and fighting. It's in the high school. It is, how to characterize it? It's of the rom-com variety
Right.
of anti-LGBTQ bullying. There's a fight in a locker room.
Right.
Does it have a happy ending? We're fast forward or just turn the volume down for 10 seconds here. Go ahead, turn the volume down. Yes, it does have a happy ending. Gonna wait for a few seconds for folks to turn their volume back up or to fast forward.
Right.
So I really enjoyed this film for a number of reasons. One, we see the awakening, if you will, of our humanity, something that I don't think that he's really thought about before until he meets Alec, who moves in across the street. It happens in a very funny, endearing kind of way. He is in a long-term relationship with a girlfriend. They are looking at going to college together, and they're filling out college applications together, and they have this really cutesy Instagram channel right together as well. His dad is the basketball obsessed one and is really kind of pushing him to join the team. And he is currently their social media manager, if you will. He sort of takes photos of the team, and he's never actually really made the team before. But it is really interesting to watch both him and his sister self-actualize with their parents and dealing with the expectations of their parents. His sister wants to become a chef, but the parents own a restaurant, a Chinese restaurant called Golden Delicious. And that's where we get the title of the movie. But it's also really interesting to see Jake's journey when he begins to realize that he is performing heteronormativity because of the expectations of doing so. And he just sort of went along for the ride because that's what his parents did. That's what his girlfriend wants to do. And when he actually sort of takes a step back and think about what he wants, he finds that he wants to actually be in a relationship with Alec.
There's pressure, talking about generational pressure. This restaurant was actually started by the previous generation, right? So the father inherited it.
This is a good point to make, yes.
From that father, and I don't know that he loves it, sort of doing what's expected of him. And
well, Jake's mom doesn't.
Right.
So there's even that of like either the expectation of taking on the family restaurant and running it, and the mom is like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. So it's there's multi layers to the how do you support your family conversation, and what do you continue on, and how do you be yourself?
The difference between doing what's expected and doing what's in your heart is sort of shown a number of different ways. And I think it's kind of exhilarating whenever somebody goes, oh, I really don't want to do what's expected of me. I have a different passion. I have a different dream. I think that's all very healthy. And one of the things that motivated me to say yes to this movie was the Rotten Tomatoes number was 86%, but I'm sure people know this, but I've just gotten better now about going to that listing and finding out what the public score is, what the non sort of approved reviewers is, because it's like 91 or 92%. And anytime I see that the people liked it more than the critics, and in particularly that it's a gay movie, I think I'm going to trust the people on this one over the, God bless the critics. But you know what I mean? A lot of times they don't, in my opinion, get LGBT films personally.
And that's something that we want to do here, right, as well, is to highlight those films and remind folks of those films.
Right.
It is also, just as a note, directed by Jason Carman, written by Gorman Lee, starring Cardi Wong, Chris Carson, and Parmees Sahat. And I think it's absolutely something to check out over the weekend. You know, we need rom-coms. I'm tired of everyone saying, oh, they're not realistic, and, you know, that's not real life. And we get to have rom-coms, folks. And I think that, you know, I want to support those wherever we find them, whether that's the holidays and Lifetime and Hallmark movies, to, you know, rom-coms like this indie film here, Golden Delicious, to the larger, you know, like what we're going to see with Wedding Banquet, you know, that larger sort of American international release type of film. So I recommend it. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. Not 5 out of 5 because I found that there were some sort of predictable rom-com things where I felt like they could be a little bit more, you know, they kind of fell into the trope in a kind of bad way in certain parts of the just because you sort of like, okay, here we go. Like the way that they came out and they were found out, I was like, okay, we've seen this before. They didn't sort of engage with it in that way, in a way that was different, that was imaginative. But all in all, 4 out of 5 stars.
Anytime you watch a movie with John Parker, my favorite part is when some character comes out to a parent and the parent says, why didn't you just tell me? And he always makes this face.
I do not like that.
You know, because it's like the pressure's on the gay person.
Yeah.
It's not the parent's job to be engaged. And
do not say that. If your child comes out to you, do not put it on them to say, why didn't you come out to me?
I always
Anyway, we have to go here today. Definitely check out Golden Delicious. Coming up next is the Matt McNeil Show. After that, Native Roots Radio. Tune in tomorrow for the LGBTQ block of programming, 2 to 6 p.m., the most comprehensive coverage of the LGBTQ community in the state of Minnesota. And until Monday, keep it queer, America.
Keep it queer.